Hello, good evening. Thanks so much for your time. My name is Sandra Esinamapeno. Let's do some business. And news just coming a few minutes ago is that the Bank of Ghana has appointed Felix E. Addo as advisor to the National Investment Bank. This follows the central bank's communication during the announcement of the completion of its banking cleanup. The appointee person is charged to advise management of the bank with a view of helping improve the affairs of the bank. Mr. Addo is the immediate past country senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers Ghana and a former member of the PwC Africa Governance Board. Mr. Addo has more than 30 years of practice and consulting experience in restructuring and insolvency, corporate project finance and recovery finance, and forensic auditing, arbitration, corporate governance, among others. He currently chairs the board of directors of Guinness Ghana Limited and serves on other boards. He is the president of the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors. Mr. Addo holds a BS in administration from the University of Ghana, Legon, and an MBA in professional accounting from Loyola College in Maryland, USA. He was honored with a doctorate also in July 2018 by the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa. Let's move on to the other stories. And Tullow Ghana believes it has a competitive advantage over others to explore for oil in the Western Basin. Tullow is one of the 16 companies out of 60 companies bidding for 5 blocks. Speaking to Joy Business at the West African International Petroleum and Exhibition Conference, World Delivery Manager at Tullow Ghana, Elike Mauli, explained why his company is best for the job.
It just gives us a chance to expand. I mean, we'll have commitments just like anybody else as to what sort of work program is required over the years. And given that we are structurally placed there, we should be able to meet those commitments quite early and potentially accelerate our commitments in comparison to anybody else that is trying to come in, and so that's where we think we've got a competitive advantage, in that we think that we're there, we have rigs, and therefore we are able to get onto some of these exploration prospects if given the opportunity.
Okay, finally, your takeaways from this conference. I know you are not going to be here tomorrow, but you spent some time here. What are you taking away together?
I think it's a great networking opportunity. It's a great place for us to know what is happening across the region, to meet with some of the service providers that are probably at later stages in their development than some of our service providers in Ghana. But I think essentially everybody is saying the right thing. We do respect that health and safety is at the forefront of our minds. We've all discussed measures for increasing cost effectiveness, increasing efficiency, and taking care of our workforce. And that's all we need to do to, I think, stay competitive in this market.
So winners of the bid will be announced in August this year. Two other stories now. Ghana could be the next investment destination for multinationals in the coming month. This is the projection of the managing director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Kofi Yamwa, who was reacting to a planned visit by Chinese President Xi Jinping to Ghana, and sources say President Jinping is planning an official visit to the country sometime this year to deepen trade ties between the two nations.
The president of the world's second largest economy, China, is expected to visit Ghana for the first time. The visit, according to investors, will have an economic influence which will boost the confidence of international investors that Ghana is the best place to do business in Africa. Over the years, Ghana and China have built bilateral cooperation in many areas, including education, health, trade and development, among others. Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Kofi Yamwa, buttresses the fact that the visit of a Chinese president will be a significant boost to the investing public and put Ghana on the growth map.
Certainly, if the leader of the second biggest economy in this world is coming to your country, it brings attraction not only from investors or business people in his own country, but also the attention of the world will be focused for the period that the president will be here. And that means a lot of investor attraction as far as Ghana is concerned. We should leverage on that and possibly maybe sign a number of MOUs as far as that visit is concerned.
What about the fear that the dominance of China in Africa will weaken the local currencies as well as taking Africa back into colonization? Well, senior partner at AB and David Ofosu-Dorte disagrees.
The influence is already there and the baseline has been determined. I don't think anything will change. Rather, I won't call it dominance. I see more China investments. What is important is how we respond to China's investments. That's what is important. And I think we need to do a bit of work on that as Ghanaians.
The historic visit is likely to see the two presidents sign some economic and development partnership agreements. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
To the stock market now, the Ghana Stock Exchange has defended its decision to delist Pioneer Kitchenware Limited from trading on the exchange. The company was delisted 2 weeks ago over some irregularities, including non-performance and inability to publish annual financial results. In an interview with Joy Business, Managing Director of the Stock Exchange, Kofi Yamwa, again said the company has been given another opportunity to correct itself and return to the best.
Agree that you're saying you didn't give them enough time. We gave them plenty time. First of all, this announcement started way back in 2017, at the end of December 2017. And we did a further issue around August 2018, telling them about the deficiencies that they needed to correct. We visited the factory. The bottom line was that there was no production. Suddenly, if a company is not producing, then really there's nothing to report on. So at the end of it, like Joyce explained, we had to go through the various steps of one, informing them, seeking information from them, putting them on the watch list, informing the general public about the date for the listing if those infractions were not rectified. And then at the time that the deadline reached, we had no choice but to. But then it doesn't close the door completely. If, for example, they can go back, restructure, and put the company back into production and be able to demonstrate that they are in better shape, they can always reapply.
So they have another chance?
Yes.
But what was the process? What happens to their investors and shareholders?
That is why it is very important that as we begin the process, we keep the general investing public informed as to the process we're going through. One, the notice to the public about the fact that there are infractions in place. Two, the fact that we've put them on the watch list for those reasons. Three, the fact that a certain date is given, a certain future date is given, as to the fact that that is a deadline. If those infractions are not rectified, then this is the action that will be taken. So that is why we put the general public or the investing public very much aware upfront.
All right, so we still stay on the stock market, and research analyst with Gold Coast, Bertha Atubiga, joins us for an update on how the Ghana Stock Exchange performed this week.
We had a total of over 200,000 shares trading on the market, and it gave us a value of over 478,000. That was as a midweek. But by close of trading session yesterday, we saw that the total volumes of shares that are traded on the market declined. It came down to about 226,279 shares. But the value or the value of the equities that traded yesterday outweighed that of midweek. That was Wednesday. So we had over 600,000 Ghana cedis shares trading yesterday by close of yesterday's trade on the market. Now, as of Wednesday, we had 14 equities participating in trade, and on Thursday we had 13 equities. Wednesday we had 3 gainers and 2 losers, and yesterday we had 2 gainers and 1 loser.
Were there any financial equities?
Yes, we had Cal Bank leading the gainers list by close of midweek, and it added 2.35% to its share price, and we had EcoBank also going up, and Societe Generale. So the top 3 gainers on the market, or the 3 gainers that we had, were all financial equities on the stock market. And on the losing front, we had SIC going down. It's actually depreciated by 4.35%, and we had MTN Ghana. It's still losing on the market. The year has not been very...
In other news, the Accra-Tema motorway to be converted into 6 lanes. We have the details plus other local stories in our summaries next.
The government has taken the necessary steps to rebuild the 54-year-old 19-kilometer Tema motorway into a 6-lane road. Built under the administration of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, the project would ease traffic on the road that links Accra to Tema and major towns on the Eastern Corridor and neighboring countries, including Togo. The motorway was initially built to transform Tema into an industrial hub of the newly independent nation and has since not seen any major renovation. The price of shea nuts has gone up in the northern regional capital Tamale, which has compelled processors and traders to increase the prices of their products. A bowl of shea nuts, which was sold at 5 Ghana cedis, now sells at 7 Ghana cedis. A bag that ranged in price from 160 Ghana cedis to 170 Ghana cedis now goes for 180 Ghana cedis to 200 Ghana cedis. The latest report on inventory of assets and property by the receiver of the 5 banks merged into the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited has shown that over 5 billion Ghana cedis of loans advanced by the banks were given to cronies and related parties, often without following due process.
That's all for now, but when I